Hey guys, you were watching the recap and after show of Below Deck Med episode 4 here on AFTERBUZZ TV. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
So cheesy.
Oh yeah, it's the Love Boat.
Yes.
You know?
Now, if you guys could just see this music video, though, that's even cheesier.
Soap opera on Below Deck Med.
Thank you guys
Classic.
for joining us. This is Below Deck Med Season 1, Episode 4, the recap here on AFTERBUZZ TV. What a crazy episode. We have so much to talk about tonight.
I can't even right now.
Wow.
I seriously can't.
I'm your host, Jamie Banks, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JamieBanks_, and with me.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Angela Struck, and you can find me on Twitter at @theAngelaStruck and on Instagram at Angela Struck.
Hey guys, it's Madison Conklin. You guys can follow me on Instagram at CONKLYNN and on Twitter at Maddie Says This.
God, I love this song. Still going. Don't stop. What's up, guys? I'm Michael Rippe. You can find me all over social media at Mike Rips.
Why would you want this song to stop, Michael?
I don't want it to stop. That's why I just paused before I said hello. It's
I'm
so
gonna listen to this
good.
in the car ride home, obviously.
Am I the only one that doesn't know what this is from?
I have
It's
no
an
clue
old
what
show.
this is.
I don't know
Old
what it's
show.
from,
Okay.
but
I
I've
love
heard
it.
it and I love
Billy
it.
Okay.
Ocean, Caribbean Queen.
What do you guys think about it? Tell us in the live chat.
Yes, actually, we are checking the live chat tonight, so be sure to tune in there. Also, shout out to Below Deck Med Fan Club and also
Yes.
Kathy Stover, and
Yeah.
anyone else, you'll get a shout out if you tweet us as well.
Yes, keep them
Maybe.
tweets
So,
coming
okay, describe this episode in one word.
in. Insane?
Cringeworthy.
Yes.
Cringeworthy, that's all I have.
Mike.
Enlightening.
It was crazy. What did you guys think? I mean, I don't even know where to start because the last 5 minutes were so jam-packed
Yeah.
that I was like, what? What just happened?
I say we
Crazy.
just start with the man of the hour, Danny.
Okay, so...
Oh, Danny,
my
come
God.
on,
Start
man.
out, he
Oh, Danny
kisses
boy.
Morgan.
Shout out to you, Danny. I got your back, buddy. Good for you.
Dude. He needs to calm it down.
Yeah, so we start out and he gives Morgan a kiss. Jen does not tell, which is an important piece for later.
Bro code was not violated. Jen, you're awesome for doing that.
And we can just see that, you know, things are heating up between them. And it's at dinner when she starts crying over fish, which, you know...
Can we stop right there?
Okay.
You know, that's cool to be a vegetarian, vegan, whatever, but
Yeah.
it's kind of weird just to bring it out on everybody else.
Yeah, and she told the whole crew, like, the crew was warned she ate fish. So they're like, okay, perfect, we'll make fish for her. Like, so they did, and then they put, what was it, like, it had the eyes and stuff.
It was
so,
a crawfish, like a
crawfish.
shellfish
Okay,
or
yeah.
a shrimp.
And she looks at it and she's just like, oh. Like her whole, she starts to
No,
shut down.
I mean,
it's like, why?
Let's be honest right now, okay? She was completely wasted.
Probably,
she was just
yes.
being emotional. This was not, you know, Danny is sweet. He has good intentions, okay?
Say
He
it.
was trying to help somebody, as he said. But WTF?
Yes.
He compared it to his little sister who wanted to give up her dream of being a tennis player. This is like a drunk, crazy girl, okay? This is not your little sister with her favorite hobby. You need to step aside, #boundaries.
Hashtag boundaries, seriously.
Question: Did Morgan do that for the cameras at all?
I
gotta
think
do
so.
that thing.
I think the whole thing with her was for the cameras.
Yeah.
I just think she wants attention. She's starved for attention. I wasn't buying any of it. And honestly, I think he's a bit for the cameras too. I've never seen a performance like that other than on cheesy soap operas.
Yeah.
It was too much.
Well, and now that I think about it, Morgan totally stole the light or the thunder from the birthday girl. Like they were celebrating her
100%.
birthday.
I didn't think about that.
And
I'd
then
be
it became
mad
all
if it was
about
my
Morgan
birthday.
and
yeah.
how she's spiritual and a good person because she didn't eat the fish and she stayed true to herself, you guys.
What
Like,
did she say? She cares about even the flies.
yeah, because they all have families.
I mean, I feel
my
like that's valid. That's
WTF.
totally fine. But I feel like you don't need to make a big scene about it. Just, you know, don't eat it then, and
Yeah.
just
100
be
yeah.
quiet about it and
just
cry
be like,
later.
you know-
But I don't know. Just don't like ruin the whole dinner.
Yeah.
I'm sure we all have friends who are vegans or vegetarians, but they can sit at a dinner table and be civil with other people. And if you can't, don't go on a protein-eating boat.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
don't know.
Then that kind of brings us to the dreaded poem, the dreaded note, the one thing, this one small thing that literally took the entire episode
Yeah, I think-
away and blew it out of the water.
I think it was a sweet idea of Danny, and I think, you know, it was crossing a boundary that he shouldn't have crossed, but it was one thing, it was just kind of weird, but it's one thing to write it, but it's another to actually deliver it when you're told not to by your bosses.
Yeah.
That was just crazy.
He just kept pushing, and then they were like, dude, this is not okay. Like, you cannot do this. He's like, well, I think it's right because I'm just helping out. Like, this is what I do, so I think it's right.
It doesn't
They're telling
matter.
you no.
It doesn't matter if Danny thinks it's right. There's a hierarchy on boats and yachts, just like there is in the military. And if you defy that, then just everything goes awry. So I thought it was completely out of line. He crossed the line. All of his superiors told him specifically not to do this, and he did it anyway.
Don't mess around. And he did. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to justify it. Like, I'm going to tell Captain Mark that I'm right. I'm going to tell Brian that I'm right. I'm going to tell everyone that I am right. You're not, dude. And I just want to say, Bobby, way to kick some butt. Because
Yeah.
seriously, you were like, WTF, man. Like, what the hell are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. I was just like, oh, swoon.
Number one Bobby
love
fan,
Bobby.
right?
I know. Bobby can do no wrong.
Literally none.
We
She's
watched-
writing a poem for you, Bobby.
Yeah,
I
we
am
watched
right
an
now.
hour-long show,
My
and
dearest
all we
Bobby.
hear about is Bobby.
It was also weird to me how Danny handled that whole conversation with the captain, because he kind of just left like mad. He's like, okay, I'm done. It's like, okay, if this is your boss, you kind of, you know, you might be mad, but you try not to show it. You say yes, sir, and you nod your head. You don't like storm
Totally
off.
agree,
And
Jamie.
can
He was saying about the fact he was like, I'll agree, but or he's like, I don't disagree, but like I'll respect you or something. What did he say?
And
I agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree.
But he called Captain Mark dude. He's like, listen, dude.
I didn't
Like,
well,
you
that
do
was
not-
later on. That was later
Yeah.
on.
But
I
still.
I think Danny just was
Danny.
caught up in the moment. And I
Thinking
think
with his little
looking
head.
back on it, I bet if we talk to Danny and when we do, he's gonna look back and realize that a lot of things he did were wrong and we're just more in the moment. He got caught up. He thought he really felt something with Morgan. Maybe there's something going on now. Who knows? But I think in the moment he wasn't thinking clearly and made some poor decisions that he probably looks back on and realizes that they weren't the best of decisions.
Yeah.
Michael, do you write a lot of poetry to girls that you've known for 2 days?
Exactly.
No.
Honestly,
A lot
like,
of
they're never
love
going to see each
poetry.
other again.
No, but if there are
Probably,
ladies
unless
out
you
there
have.
that want poems, let's go.
He's
I'll work
ready
on
to
it.
start.
I'll work on it.
Star-crossed lovers.
Let's
It's like
go.
the modern day Romeo and Juliet.
Yes.
It's Danny
I get
and Morgan.
assistance from my boy Danny.
And
Let's do it.
In his defense, he wrote a good poem.
yeah, it
Yeah,
a
it
little
was
cheesy.
I thought it was kind of cute.
He
It rhymed.
and he got a note back, so
Yeah.
I'm with you, Danny.
Team Danny.
Another interesting
Got you back.
thing was he was kind of telling the girls about the whole situation. I mean, he was kind of alluding to it, and so they said, "Oh, I'm on Team Daniel." That's pretty much taking your drama and involving the crew.
High school. That's high school. Like, grow up.
It's just so unprofessional. I mean, Brian said you don't involve the crew, you don't involve the guests in the crew issues. It's just so unprofessional. It puts them in an awkward position. They have to choose a side. Team Daniel and all of this. It was not the right thing to do.
However, and I know I've been bashing Danny, but I guess to his defense, it wasn't as upscale as what they're used to. You know, it's
Yeah.
girls in their 20s that flirt, you know, and so he let his guard down and everything. But yeah, still,
You have
like,
to keep your
unperfect-
standards, though. I think.
Exactly. He crossed the, So
Yeah.
Danny,
We
just
could be the Danny defenders.
think.
I like Danny. I actually kind of felt
Yeah.
bad
I
did
for
too.
him,
I did, yeah.
like throughout the whole situation, because I feel like part of him is just very new and doesn't really understand like the hierarchy
Yeah.
and things like that. So man, I don't know like what his job history is.
I think he's genuine. I think that's one thing that
Yeah.
Danny is genuine. He makes mistakes. I bet he'll admit to it, but he's genuine, I think. And sometimes that genuineness gets him into
be-
trouble because
yeah.
he's not able to put it aside and realize that you can be genuine but also do your job, and your job becomes number one priority.
The only thing I disagree with there is that he lied every single time he was confronted about every
Okay.
issue initially.
and
That's
and
true.
if you want to feel good about it and you feel that's really the right thing to do, you know it's not the right thing to lie.
You're right. That's true.
Own
That's,
it.
you can't lie. Good point, Angela. Danny, don't lie.
I think
took it for
Danny
hard.
I'm still with you, though, Danny.
No,
I'm
I
there.
think he's a nice guy. I just think he really showed his immaturity. I think he handled this completely wrong. And I think that it's a liability on a boat like that. What's he going to do next? Well, we
Exact-
saw he's something with a threesome, so.
Wait, what?
That was in the previews. He's like watching a
The
threesome or something.
like I said, we'll get to the
You were only
previews.
watching
Can we
Bobby.
say-
Okay,
Can
yeah,
we save
what's
the
Bobby gonna do?
previews for a little bit because
look at his
that's coming.
But wait, can I just say, and it's okay for guys to cry. Everyone has emotions, but seriously, the waterworks would not stop with Daniel,
was a
and
lot.
it was pissing me off. Like, come on, man up, puff your chest out,
Well,
stop crying.
I don't want to go ahead and say that like guys can't.
No, I wasn't saying that.
Okay.
But like, he was just, I don't know.
Also, I just
He's-
want to say shout out to all the people in our live chat. Thank you for joining us and commenting with us all
Yeah,
night.
we're
We'll be
reading
here.
them. We're reading them all.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, also it's interesting though that the captain and the rest of the crew, with the exception of Jen, did actually not know about the kiss. So
Yeah.
they're so mad at him they didn't even know that he kissed
Which
Morgan.
I think
Which he also
would have
lied
been
about. Oh, he would
done.
have
That would've
definitely
been the
been
third
fired.
strike.
The
Definitely
thing that I
been
don't
fired.
like about that situation now is that he's kind of resolved his situation by the end of this episode, and yet there's a little bit that's still lingering. Because if Jen gets really mad at him or someone wants to blow up his spot, they have that as blackmail or something in the pocket.
Yeah.
right.
And then it's just like, no matter what, it will look bad for him when he has to be like, oh yeah, there was a further part of that story that you didn't know, I didn't tell you. And
Yeah.
he's kind of in a no-win situation now.
Yeah,
He's
he-
got the 2 strikes, and he has this other thing that could be a strike if the captain's not happy with him.
I agree.
And that worries me for him,
yeah.
yeah.
It's not a good feeling.
you know?
Okay, yeah, sorry. I was just gonna say, with the captain giving him his second strike, saying, I don't trust you and all this stuff. I really enjoyed getting to know Captain Mark. Like, I felt when Danny was getting scolded, I kind of felt that like pit in your stomach when you get caught lying or something to your parents in like high school, and I was just like, oh my God, he's upset Captain Mark. Captain Mark's so cool, level-headed, and he was just like the father figure, like, I'm gonna give you one more chance. I was just like, Mark.
He handled the situation really well. He basically, said he was disappointed in him, but that he wants him to improve and wants to give him another chance. And that was I really liked that.
I think the truth of the matter is, too, he wouldn't have kept him if they weren't in the middle of Europe on a yacht in the middle of charter season. And he
Right.
knew it's going to be very hard. It could be another 2 charters before he gets somebody else out to be
That's
another
true.
deckhand.
Well,
So
That's true.
That's an important part to remember, that he's needed. And
Yeah.
also, I will say this, that it did seem like to me that Danny did his time for his punishment. I mean, he
was
did.
kept in his room
He
all
did have
day.
to basically
Yeah.
go to jail for a day
Yeah.
in a little room. He's not getting his money, which is a lot of money.
Yeah,
true.
they made a
And
lot
he's
of
already
money.
been made a fool by the rest of his team. They're
That's
already
true.
looking down. So I mean, at a certain point, it's like, how much do you want to punish him?
Yeah.
He's been punished, in my opinion, at this point. If he was going to be kicked off, I would have liked to see him kicked off immediately.
Touche.
Don't
That's a
make
good
him
point.
stay in a day in jail and then bring him up and then get rid of him. I would have been upset by Captain Mark. But I liked how Captain Mark handled it. Captain Mark, we've said, we've gotten to know him a little
like
bit.
him.
We
Yeah.
like him. He's straightforward. He seems like a good captain. I think in this episode you see that too. But
I've got
What
eyes
is-
for Captain Mark now.
what does everybody else
watch out,
think?
Bobby.
Eyes for everyone.
Bobby, sorry, I'm going for Mark.
I'm curious what everybody else thinks too out there. Captain Lee versus Captain Mark. I think Captain Lee would have sent him home. I don't know. What do you guys think?
You run a tight ship, probably.
Yeah.
I think I'm agreeing with you.
I disagree.
Do you really?
I think that I agree that I think Captain Lee would want to send him home, but I think that they don't let you on to this too much, but I
Yeah.
think he's really needed.
Yeah.
The amount of work
Yeah.
that we've seen, the hours they put in, they're not like
Yeah.
on the coast of California or Florida.
Yeah.
They're over in
It's
the
true.
Mediterranean.
That's- yeah.
It might not be that easy to get someone immediately. So I think that they need him. They don't make that a big part of it because
Yeah.
it's better for the show.
Right.
I think that Captain Lee is more strict
Yeah.
and like less easygoing and normal to talk to, and
Right.
would have definitely on a second strike canned him quicker than Captain Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think at the end of this episode, when Danny was in his room, you really could see that they needed him because they were having trouble, parking the boat or whatever that's called in boats terms. So yeah, I think they really do need them.
They had to send the
Docking.
guests
Docking.
off on tender.
Oh yeah.
The guests literally couldn't dock the
Yeah.
boat in
Well,
the right
it
place.
was really windy too.
Arguably,
was
that could
windy.
have been weather, wind.
It's true, but another hand
that
could have
gave
helped.
Tiffany the opportunity.
Oh,
to show her
Captain
stuff.
Lee would have definitely kicked him out, but I think Lee would have given him his tip. Interesting.
Very interesting.
That's very
Thank you.
fair because he always felt like Captain Lee would always say, if you've done your time, you've worked, you get your tip, but you also get it with your ticket home. So nice. Thank you,
Matricoco 13?
Matricoco 13.
I just want to throw this out there. I thought.
Yeah, we went through 3 deckhands in one
I don't
season.
know if you guys thought this, but I thought after they got their tip money that Captain Mark, he said if you want to put some money in an envelope so that you don't lose it or whatnot. I thought at that moment he was going to say if you wanted to donate any money or give a little bit of money.
Oh, really?
Wasn't he saying that
hell
because
no.
Hannah was putting money in her
I
bra?
think so in the past, but I thought that he might do that, and I think Captain Lee would have done that too. Actually, let Danny have some of the money because I mean he did work.
He did
work as part of the charter.
Yeah.
I definitely think he was
He
part
was
of the
barely
reason.
working. He was flirting the whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
That's
true.
Flirting, not flirting, but he was working for a day and a
guess,
half
yeah.
of the. I don't know how long the
But
charter
he
was.
caused a lot of stress for everybody too at the same time.
Okay,
Yeah.
he can get a day's worth of tips.
Maybe a day. But
I thought it was
he didn't,
interesting. I mean,
so
but he didn't get his
Yeah.
money. But so
Yeah.
I think
can't change the past.
his punishment was fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So moving on, this is the first time that we see Julia Skype with her boyfriend.
Yes.
And
oh,
I thought
Julia.
it was really cute. I like him, and I feel like they have good chemistry.
I mean, his name's Maddie. You can't not like anyone named Maddie. No. But yeah, I think it opened because she's the cute one. The guys kind of have eyes for her, and you're like, well, she has the boyfriend, but she talks about him a little bit. But now we actually got to see the boyfriend, them talking, them interacting. And I thought it was so sweet. She's like, have you checked on my mom and dad? How are they doing? Like, oh, it was just so heartbreaking that they couldn't be together. But obviously, she chose to do yachting for a reason, and. Oh, I just love her and Maddie, but I hope she doesn't do anything stupid.
Yeah, I think
I don't know. Do you guys think something's gonna happen with her and Bobby?
I can see.
What's Michael's
Julia?
way?
I sort of.
I thought it was
Go
a
ahead, Michael.
beautiful moment when she Skyped with her boyfriend, and I just love listening to her talk.
Oh,
Yeah,
her
she's
accent
awesome.
is
Yeah.
just
It's fantastic.
yeah.
I thought they were really cute, and I think, early on, a lot of us predicted that she would kind of get rid of her stable Mabel throughout her time, on the boat, and maybe go with Bobby or something. But they seem to have a really strong, solid relationship. So kudos to you guys. That's hard to do long distance like that.
Yeah, I mean, she's on a boat, in remote areas. I'm sure they don't have.
We've got plenty of episodes left. Let's
I know, right?
let's simmer down here.
I'm just saying, a girl can dream that they stay together.
Okay, so shall we get into the night time? So
Well,
much happened.
One thing I wanted to bring up too is I thought it was nice that Hannah apologized to Tiffany.
Yeah.
Yes,
a little.
the feuding between Hannah and Tiffany has simmered down.
Yeah.
It's short-lived.
But
if you
I
ask
think
me.
it's going to be reignited.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
I do.
You know why?
Competing
there's
for
a-
Ben.
there's a Ben on the
love
boat.
The
triangle.
love triangle with Ben, Hannah, and Tiffany.
Oh, it's gonna be a love quadruple now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Brian, Ben.
Brian's
Oh
included
gosh,
in it.
yeah. I mean, that was insane, and I think. Well, I don't want to jump ahead.
We
but
also
I think,
got a live tweet that says her boyfriend does run her business, so
she gotta have to stay. Yeah,
She
that's
has
true.
to.
Match with Coco on
Very
it.
good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. You want to keep everything nice with him back home.
Go ahead.
Also, one thing I forgot to mention with the Morgan situation, it didn't seem like she was that sad when she
She
couldn't
was
say bye
hammered the
to
whole time.
Danny.
She probably didn't.
I mean, she wrote him a note, but it didn't seem like she was like crying about
Well,
where
they
he
didn't.
was.
No one asked where he was. That was really sad. That
Something
was like,
tells me that girl's had a lot of men in her life. I don't know.
Really? You don't say.
Nothing wrong with that. But
No, yeah,
Right.
but I mean, I don't think she was brokenhearted over it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, listen, who knows? Maybe they're getting married in the spring.
who knows? So that night, Tiffany seemed to be the popular one. Both Ben
Yes.
and Brian seemed to be all over her.
Striving for her attention. And did it seem like she noticed though? I feel like she didn't really take notice of it. She did tell Julia that she
She seemed very nonchalant about it.
right, like, oh yeah, Brian's pretty hot, Well, what we also totally skipped over was the little the Chippendales attire they wore for the girls on the
Very-
night
yes.
the sushi fish fiasco happened, but she was like, oh, hello, Brian.
Took
Right?
notice
Yes.
of him there for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. For the first time, I think she kind of viewed him in a different light.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think she's more interested in Brian than Ben.
Oh yeah.
She's
Tiffany?
more interested in
Yeah.
Brian than Ben.
What do you think?
I mean, she was straddling him in his bunk.
So
Yeah.
I think that Tiffany originally was more into Ben, and I
Right.
think Ben is more into Tiffany. Clearly, he
Yeah.
states that. But clearly, I think that
now.
Ben was a little indecisive.
Yeah.
He's kind of playing
Yeah,
the
he
field.
said that he doesn't want to pigeonhole
and
himself.
so he's
which,
kind of
hey,
giving
kudos,
Hannah
man.
a little time. giving Tiffany some time.
But once Hannah finds out, like, Tiffany's his main prize, but he's just gonna go to Hannah because she's convenient.
Well,
that's
why it gets weird here, because I think Ben is gonna go in his room, and then Tiffany is with Brian, and I think that's more alcohol induced at that point.
Yeah.
And a lot of persistence.
Yeah.
A lot of Brian persistence. Shout out to persistence. And
you have all love for like all the guys.
Brian. Shout out to you, Bobby, too. Oh man.
I kind of feel
all
like
the dudes love tonight.
I feel like Ben is going to be more into Tiffany after this incident because it's a game, kind of like it's like
Yes.
love is a game. So he's like, she's into him, so I want her, and she's the more desirable one. Yeah. Because it's all like a game versus
what you
Hannah
have.
was,
Yeah.
you know, is beautiful and everything, but she was in the kitchen, and it seemed like maybe he could have attained her at that moment. So he's kind of like, I haven't decided, which is a super funny thing to say to a woman. I don't know if that would work on me.
Yeah.
I think that Ben already knew Hannah is into him. It's clear. I mean, they have very flirtatious times in the kitchen, and he even said that Tiffany was most ladylike. And if you go back and look at past episodes, he's been Team Tiffany.
He really has. He has.
But guys, I thought that was so funny that Ben said that Tiffany was more ladylike because she specifically described herself as a tomboy.
Yeah.
And he said that he's not looking for his alpha counterpart. Yet every season he hooks up with like the dominating woman.
Which
That's
is
usually
guilty.
like the
Maybe
chief
it's his
stew or
guilty-
something.
yeah.
Ladies, men are from Mars, women are from Venus for a reason. See?
Yeah, but
The way
He
that-
says the opposite.
it's funny. You're right, because Tiffany does describe herself as a tomboy, and so did Brian. Brian
Yeah.
said she's kind of the most like laid back,
Yeah,
nonchalant
chill.
one.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is interesting.
I thought that was really funny.
Also, Ben is just like doing his own thing in the kitchen.
He always
So
is.
He's
He's
not
just
really
kinda
with
like-
anyone,
yeah.
so he's not completely.
He probably
there.
just gets in his head. Which I just had to say, for me, the cringeworthy moment of that whole Ben, Tiffany, Hannah thing was when Hannah was hugging him and rubbing his back, which was, girl, make moves, okay? But then it totally looked like she wanted to kiss him, and he was just like stuck there, like, oh,
course.
I can't go back any further. And it was just like, Hannah, stop, Hannah, stop.
It seemed kind of like an awkward moment.
Yeah,
She-
and then he like
love
got out of it.
Hannah.
I did too.
Oh no, I definitely love Hannah.
I know.
She's
I
a
like
boss,
want. I
but
want
it
her
was
to
just
get
like,
her way. I love Hannah. That's my girl.
She
But
moseyed on, following Ben in there. She knew what she was hoping for.
Oh,
and
she
Ben
was
just
getting
wasn't
after.
complying.
She had a mission. She was a woman on a mission, and shout out to Hannah. I appreciate you for that. I just thought it was a little cringeworthy.
I think Ben
whole
likes
kiss-
her. I
yeah.
think the tricky thing is he knows that it can get really messy if the chef and the chief stew have any kind of falling out. You
Right.
know, because they have to work so closely. So
And
very
I
true.
mean, it's their second charter. You can't get messy right off the bat, you know?
Yeah.
I think he knows, obviously.
Yeah.
He's done this before, but it's like, don't dive in right away, you know?
He always hooks the Chiefs too.
yeah.
Yeah. But Hannah said she's never...
Been with the chef.
Yeah, I don't know how to phrase that. She's never been with a chef. She's been with, what? Captain, first mate.
The captain, that's kind of awkward too,
I know.
right?
I mean,
Maybe it was a
again,
smaller boat.
Work.
So after this little awkward moment in the kitchen, then Ben walks in on Tiffany and Brian, and he says, "Get out! I'm not in high school." And
Yeah,
this
he's like,
is
"Get the F
interesting
out."
because I feel like one, you know, that might be something like somebody would say, but then two, he's into Tiffany, so he's kind of like, "Get out!" Like kind of
got that
trying
vibe.
to.
Because he was jealous.
block her,
Totally.
you know?
That was total jealousy of like.
It was like the
shoot,
two bros
Brian,
that
yeah.
like the one girl, you know, the guy gets the girl and then the other guy's like, I don't like her anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it was
That's gonna be that square love square is.
I felt bad for Ben right there.
I did too.
Because I feel like if push came to shove in this moment in the season, at that point, before the drinks, Tiffany liked Ben more. And I think Brian's persistence won out, and also Ben was with Hannah. So I think, you know,
And-
alcohol does
Yeah, it
crazy
seemed like-
things to you.
It seemed like it was a really quick thing. Like, I didn't really see it coming with Brian and Tiffany that night. They
Yeah.
were just kind of like brushing their teeth or whatever, and then just went in there. So
Yeah.
I didn't really see the build up to that.
He was like
Smooth
really
operator.
close to her at the bar, like
They were
literally
pretty
all up in
flirty, you
her-
guys.
Yeah, all up
I
in
felt
her
they were
junk.
like off in their own corner a lot of the times. He was
Yeah.
saying weird things about noodles or rice or
Yeah,
cheese graters.
how would
I
you
don't
grate
know.
your cheese? That threw me for a loop. I'm like, this is getting weird. But the thing with Ben was, it wasn't like he was going to find Tiffany. He was just going to bed, and then Tiffany happened to be in bed
That's-
with Brian, and that's when he got pissed. So, kind of makes me think like he just wanted to go to bed, wasn't really vying for anyone's attention.
That's Ben's game, though. He kind of slow plays it,
Yeah.
doesn't attack aggressively, lets it come to him.
Yeah.
It was a weird moment. I think that's going to set up a lot of the future moments in this season,
Drama?
really. Because a lot of
Drama
things have
moments?
just been intertwined and connected now in different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the love polygon that we just
Yeah.
created.
I mean,
That's
we have
happening.
a lot of different things happening
Dude,
right now.
throw Danny in the mix somewhere. You think any of the girls are like after Danny now?
After this incident, I don't
probably
think
not.
so.
Yeah.
Maybe before.
After
Yeah.
that, I just really found him to be very unstable. I thought that was just like really. He seems like a very sweet guy, and maybe in a different situation, you know, he would operate better. But he just seemed like out of his element. He seemed loco.
Like Bobby said, he's a Looney Tune.
Yeah.
Like, he kind of was. His true colors were showing, and it was like,
I'm just
crazy.
gonna go with I think he was overly emotional in the moment,
yes.
and he's a nice guy.
Yes.
He's
Danny,
a
no,
nice
yes.
guy.
Danny, you're great. We love you. Don't
So
think we
I-
don't.
We do. It was just
Anything we missed before we get into some predictions?
I think Captain Mark, he had two statements during the episode when he talked to Danny that were very interesting to me. He told Danny to go be a Walmart greeter.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that
Oh
was
my
probably the
gosh.
best line of the night because Danny was like,
Wow.
"I like to talk to people," but and then Captain Mark was like, "Well, then be a Walmart greeter, but don't do that here." And
Cut,
it's
like, straight to the
okay.
point, cutthroat, right?
Yeah.
Just real. And
blunt.
And he just told him, you've lost my respect. So he's just a straightforward guy.
Yeah.
I liked that.
You can appreciate that.
Yeah.
I
Captain
bet
Mark.
you he's a father. I could definitely see it.
Well, you had a wedding ring, so I want to learn more about
Oh.
Captain Mark's life. Did you guys not notice that?
He's making
Can't
fun of
take
you,
it.
like if
No,
you're
no.
into him.
I would never make fun of you. I just, you know.
What? All right, whatever.
I know,
Captain Mark.
we do. We want to know more about what Captain Mark's life
Yeah,
is like.
because he's
I'm sure he probably has
just
a lovely
awesome.
family.
Yeah.
I'm
I hope
sure.
so.
I bet he's a very good father.
Come on the show and tell us,
Seems
Yes,
like a
Captain
military
Mark.
guy too.
please.
I feel
Wherever
like
can.
he was.
Stand-up guy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into some predictions.
Oh, where do we even start?
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Who wants to start?
I can start.
Okay.
Oh man.
So this is gonna be a little bit long. So just stay with
God.
me.
Deep breath.
We have a couple of things that are gonna happen. I feel like now. On the one side, we're gonna have tension between Tiffany and Hannah.
Yeah.
More
they,
tension.
They just kind of resolved their early issues and they were cool. And I think it's gonna be right back in the forefront now between them because on the flip side of that, they're now kind of in competition for the same guy.
Yeah.
Or men.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be a lot of drama from once you introduce the romantic side in a ship, everything is thrown out the window.
Yeah.
So I think how we're so focused on Danny in this episode and his drama, I feel like in 2 episodes we're going to forget everything with Danny because
Yeah.
he's going to be
100%.
so
100%,
far
yeah.
away from what's going on now and currently. And so I think that in the end though, that Ben and Tiffany are going to be a thing.
Okay.
Really?
So Ben and Tiffany are going to end up together.
Ooh.
That's what you're predicting.
That's your
my-
bracket.
and also Bobby and Julia.
If you were on the show, who would you go
no.
for, Mike?
Who would I?
Which
Yeah,
girl?
which is your girl?
Well, Julia's got a boyfriend, so I mean she has a fantastic accent. I like Tiffany.
Okay.
I like Tiffany a lot.
All the guys like Tiffany, huh?
Yeah.
She's just
She's-
got that bro.
She's just
like,
lady.
chill.
She can hang.
She's
Yeah.
ladylike.
She can hang.
She doesn't take herself too seriously, and she shows she has ambition too because she goes out to help when Danny's down
In his little jail cell.
Funny. I think when these, because I'm now you're our only man on this panel, so you have the male perspective.
Thank you.
I think when they're saying ladylike, they mean like maternal. She's kind of sweet. She's not prim and like makeup and hair, but she's like sweet. And she kind of is like a bit
Like
more, whereas
feminine?
like Hannah and like Julia are a bit more like wisecracky.
Well,
Like, is that what you think?
I
or-
like Julia. She just
Yeah. Well, she has a boyfriend.
She has a boyfriend. It's
Hannah,
silly.
though,
It's not my
Hannah,
place.
like, will tell you to go like f yourself
Also,
or
I-
whatever.
yeah.
You know.
And I don't mind that actually.
Yeah.
I like that Hannah is ambitious and she's got personality and she's strong. I like that in a woman. But I didn't like earlier in the season when Hannah was. I thought she was a little wrong when she went after Tiffany early in the
Wrote her
season.
off.
And I didn't like that because it was early in the season. It showed me something about her that it kind of turned me the wrong way.
Yeah.
So we haven't had enough time where maybe she comes back. She seems like a sweet girl.
Yeah.
And I appreciate all the things she does. It's just right now I'm so far. It's been Tiffany's my number one.
Interesting. I can do mine.
Go ahead.
So my prediction. is that things are simmering and Danny and Bobby are going to get at it. I think they're going to just get into big fights. Big time.
yeah. Like
I
their
think we saw a
relationship.
little hint of it in the preview.
Too much.
Danny, coming at him. But, yeah, I think there's going to be trouble there.
I think that's a good prediction.
I don't know, because I just am so confused with all these people, like this love polygon or whatever. I don't know what my prediction is. I guess I predict Danny's going to get into more trouble and continue to just kind of plummet, which makes me sad. But I don't think he'll get kicked off the charter. Or the yacht, I should say. But yeah, I think Danny's just going to keep like digging himself into a deep hole that he's not going to be able to get out of.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And one thing you said, Mike, about the tension between Hannah and Tiffany, it kind of made me realize maybe it's because they're also both the only two single females that are into men on the boat. So that's kind of some tension versus, Julia has a boyfriend and Jen is more into the women. And then also I would like to see more of Jen, because I feel like we didn't really see much of her this episode.
She's just a bit reserved, I think, in general. I think she just keeps to herself. She's got her dog. She just kind of does her own thing.
We learned that this episode thanks to Danny and
His
her
towel.
family. Yeah, his towel, which, again, the genuineness, I think, really showed when he did the origami towel with the dog's face on it.
You
and put
guys,
pictures
that
up.
was not genuine. He knows that Jen has something over his head. And he does not want her to change that. To me, I found that to be very calculating.
Joe Boza thinks that
Girl, you got that.
Joe Boza thinks that Danny will be kicked off the yacht within 2 charters.
Yeah.
Interesting
I agree,
prediction.
Joseph Boza. Yeah.
Joseph, you're so wrong, buddy. So wrong. But thank you for joining us in the chat for sure.
Oh, yeah, don't discourage him. Keep him coming.
No, keep it coming.
Tell us
Like,
what you
you're
think,
just wrong.
Joseph.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's
No,
okay.
I thought we saw an interesting side of Danny tonight.
Wow, that was just an amazing episode. I just
Yeah.
can't even believe it. And I think it's so crazy that they hit us with all that, like,
At the end,
love
'cause
at
you
the end,
want
like,
more.
in the
You're like,
last
what's
5
gonna
minutes.
happen?
Yeah, I can't wait for next
They
week.
can attest to this. I felt like every 2 minutes I was like, what? No. I can't. I can't right now.
Also, next week we have a guest, right?
Yes, next week Hannah will be joining us.
Hannah's in the house.
Slay girl.
Hannah's in the house. Might have
Hannah in the house.
Might have some love for Hannah next week.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm rethinking everything now that she's coming.
Yeah, you want to
All right.
say that one
I'm
more
sitting
time?
pretty because Hannah's been my girl from the top. So
And did you guys like the previews for next week?
I loved him.
Or the rest of the season?
I mean, Bobby.
oh my gosh.
No, I'm just kidding. But again,
We
Danny.
should just do slow motion videos of Bobby and Maddie will be happy.
Just doing anything.
I also really like Brian too. He's super attractive as well. So
Yeah, Brian.
and Ben,
Yeah, for sure.
they all
Ben,
are.
I love Ben's
I
personality.
love his
So I might
personality.
be
I always
Team
like a
Ben.
guy that
I
can
just wanna
make
see
you
more of
laugh.
him.
That's
Yeah.
the best. So.
They're all great.
Yeah, you guys are all great. But
Seriously, if you haven't watched the season, start watching now because the previews
really
look incredible
Yeah.
moving forward. It's already been so good.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to tweet us. We love hearing your tweets, and we'll definitely tweet you back and comment. And be sure to subscribe and give us a big thumbs up.
yes, thank you guys for watching and tuning in.
I'm your host, Jamie Banks, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JamieBanks_. And with me,
I'm Angela Struck, and you can find me on Twitter at @theangelastruck and Instagram at Angela Struck.
And I'm Madison Conklin. You can find me on Twitter at Maddie Says This and on Instagram at Conklin, CONKLYNN.
Or I love Bobby. My name is Michael Rippe. You can find me on social media at Mike Rips.
awesome. Thank you guys. See you next week.
Bye,
Bye, guys. Thank you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.